Okay. Alright, looks like we're loaded up. There's a Pokemon Yellow. We're at Brock's place. Let's go get a little bit of training here. I think I would like everybody to be at about 10 before we go deal with that gym. Oh boy. Those are some weak enemies, though. Rat. Well, that was a crit hit. That's not actually... Yeah, I need to see that movie. I do. I so much do. Think I might have to get myself in the proper mood setting too before I do it. Like, it might be a good idea to watch some of the original series. To watch the 66 series a little bit and kind of get my attitude in the right spot, and then watch it and see how much it recaptures the original show and stuff like that, and how well it would have fit, or how much of a departure it ends up being. No, I beat the Elite Four last night, man. I beat them. I whopped on them. I'll admit, some of it was a little tough and we had to get a little tricky in certain spots, but whopped on that Elite Four. So now we're on yellow. Aw, dumb bird. It went over pretty well. I have to admit, like I said, a couple of the fights, man, it started looking bad. But the team was a little more substantial than I thought. I will say, I don't know 100% for sure. I think maybe one time Gloves maybe only saw combat one time, and that was against Bruno, and then the rest of the time he just sat on the sidelines. Which I expected. It started to feel like Gloves wasn't going to be a major hitter in the team. I started seeing that pretty early on, and he never really did pick up. I don't know what it was. Like, I really don't. That's so bizarre, because I know he's not that bad in newer games, especially like the newer stuff that exists now. Like, I have one in Sword and Shield, and he's sturdy. Like, he has decent range coverage. I have a held item, but I don't think that should mean that much. But I purposely use this one held item that increases the power of punches. Makes a lot of sense for him. But I still don't think that should make such a huge difference. Like, he just... Oh, we screwed up. I was hoping I could win that, if just barely, but whatever. Yeah, just, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm giving him that much of a boost in the new game. And he just was not very usable in the last one we played. In red version, for some reason, he just never hit that area that we needed him to hit. And, like, he only got one fight move the entire game, one fighting type move, and I had to give it to him myself. I had to teach it through a TM, which was submission, and every time he used it, he would do like a big, super hard, crazy hit, and then he'd hurt himself for literally a little over 70% of his life, so he could only attack once. Like, he wasn't helping us at all. It's a real shame, because I like Hitmonchan, and I was really hoping to sing his praises, but I'm thinking maybe back then, in these original games, Hitmonlee was just better. Oh no, Blue and every one of the Elite Four fought me for real. I had to really think my way out of a couple situations. Oh yeah, and remember how you told me to get rid of Toxic? Nope, didn't happen. Which thankfully it didn't happen, because Toxic is literally the reason. He's how I got rid of that Kadabra. You know how I'd been stocking potions almost the entire time, right? So I go in there, and we're fighting, and I'm like, okay, so I use Toxic, and as soon as Toxic lands, man, I immediately go into my inventory, because he's hitting me, and he's taking almost all of my life in a single hit, but he's not killing me, and I was like, okay, Hyper Potion, and then he would hit me, Hyper Potion, then he would hit me, Hyper Potion, and I just played this against him, literally until he killed himself with poison, because it just got worse and worse for him, because Toxic just gets worse and worse, and he couldn't keep up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was holding him back. I really don't. I mean, I know it's been a long time since I've played the old games, but like he drugged the whole team. In fact, Aerodactyl, which I added to the team very late in the game, mind you, like before the 7th gym, and when we added him, he was only like level 30, and I was worried that he was going to be the one to hold the team back. So I watched the stream, but that's crazy cool. There we go. Pidgey's 10. He's done. That's our goal right now, is get everybody to 10. That should make them more than capable of handling what we're walking into. The whole team at 10 should be solid. And then for what it's worth, we'll go check out the museum. Just because, man, all of these sprites so far are better. And this is just a single upgrade, just moving to yellow, and almost every single sprite is better. Wild Monkey, Scratch. Now this playthrough, Yellow, what we're hoping to do, and that's because this is the only game we can do it, we're going to build Red's actual team. So each time we get a member that makes sense for Red's actual team, we're going to dip somebody out, and we're just going to build the actual team that Red would have had, and we're going to see how extremely easy or extremely irritating it must have been, because the actual Red going through the game and the continuity that we're looking at right now means that, sure, he had a Venusaur, okay? Yeah, he did. But that Venusaur had to have been carrying Cut. because he had to have gone through with the trusted team, and he had to have been able to walk around this world. And because if I walk away from a bush, the bush comes back, that means you constantly have to have cut. So that means the Venusaur is always going to be missing one of its movesets. And Charizard, he might be the one that we do fly with. And then we will be surfing, of course, with our Lapras. That makes sense. Strength will probably be from Blastoise, I imagine. No, Strength could very well be given to the Snorlax. I'm not 100% sure there how we're going to go yet. But yeah, we're going to be missing certain moves and certain spots in our battling. That's going to make it I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a fairly easy run, in all honesty, once we start building Red's team, because Red's team is substantial. It's no joke. It's a tried true power machine. And this is the only game we can do this with. We can't do it with Gold, because we can't get Gold's like fan art team that you often see, because we can only pick one starter. This is the only time that we're going to be able to get all three in a single run through and actually build this team, because technically the red that we constantly see in fan art is the red from yellow. It's very, very much the red from yellow, because normally his team is depicted as having all three starters, having a Pikachu that is not evolved. You almost never see the fan art with him having a Raichu. And then he has the Snorlax, which of course he catches by storyline. You have to get the flute, you have to wake him up. He's one of the guaranteed encounters of the game. Then they give him either an Eevee or a Lapras. And in most cases, when they give him an Eevee, they change the Eevee so the Eevee is an Espeon. Well, that's not possible for our playthrough. So that Eevee is not going to be on the team, because there's no way that we could get there. And I think the reason they often depict it as an Espeon is because if Red only knows of the fire, lightning, and water type of evolutions, and he's already got that covered on his team, then Eevee is almost like a pet until one day he happens to be walking around, and maybe it's when he moves to the mountain or whatever, because, you know, that's when Gold and Silver come into play, and that's when Espeon becomes a thing, and maybe it just evolves, which makes sense, because if he never evolved it, he may have been one of the people that kind of discovered, hey, this just happened. So that makes a certain kind of sense to me. But since we're already going to have a normal, we're going to put on Lapras, which I believe is one of the very few actual ice in the original game. I think it's like Articuno, Jinx, and like Lapras, and maybe one or two other people, but they're far and few between in the original game. Ice very much not a regular occurrence in the old games. Heck, even the moves, there was like Blizzard, Ice Beam, Ice Punch, and I think there's Aura Beam. I think that's an ice type move, but I don't know for sure. Well, we wouldn't pick a stone because that's not part of Red's actual team. Red is often never depicted with a Jolteon or a Flareon or a Vaporeon. That's not part of his most agreed canon team. And that's what we're calling it, is most agreed canon team, because in truth, in the canon, especially the way the anime seems to present it, he picked a Charizard. But in most depictions that we see, in most of the fan art and everything, we never see. We don't see that. In fact, in the anime, in that short anime they did, they very much kind of give him just a bunch of people, and the only guy that really stays consistent through the entirety is Charizard. But that's not the team we're building. We're going to build the more iconic team and run through the game like that. That's what we're working on. Look at that. Horn attack. Dang, that's a big deal so early in the game. So much better balance. Yeah, so far yellow just feels better. It's true we're at the start of the game, we're doing all the level grinding and whatnot, because the start of the game you kind of have to walk back and forth in the grass for a while. Let's move this up there. We'll move this here, there. Because Horn Attack is definitely our focus attack right now. It's the strongest, it has the best kick for what we're dealing with. If there were some trainers to train on, I would. And so, I was told you can actually find a Pidgeotto in the woods and catch it. So I almost wonder if we should be training down there just in case we actually come across it, because that would be sick at the beginning of the game like this. Okay, switch him out. Train this rat a little bit. We're trying to get people to 10 before we move on. It's fairly monotonous. Level grinding in a stream is fairly monotonous. It's just watching somebody walk back and forth. I more than understand the ridiculousness of the beginning of this. But such is the nature of RPGs in all actuality. Like, original older RPGs and some newer RPGs, but most older RPGs is level grinding. It's walking back and forth, walking back and forth, walking back and forth. Do I have Dragon Ball Evolution? Okay. No. And then I guess my next question, why? Like, why would I want Dragon Ball Evolution? I think we joked about reviewing it once or twice, but that movie is awful. Shane bought it for free once. I think we were at Best Buy, and I can't even remember what it was. I can't remember what was going on, but we'd made some joke about buying Dragon Ball Evolution. And I don't know why, but he like went along with the joke and he picked it up. We bought like 3 or 4 different things while we were there, and we got there and he bought Dragon Ball Evolution. Then we went to check out, checked out and everything, and he got his receipt, and the receipt said that Dragon Ball Evolution had been free, that he didn't pay for Dragon Ball Evolution. And I was like, what? Like, and he was like, they know how bad they know how bad the fucking movie was. They just gave it to me. They just want it out of the building, and I was the first idiot that was willing to take it out of the building for them. So I think Shane actually owns Dragon Ball Evolution. He may still have it. It's going to be a good Pidgey. Man, he is really dead set on that sand attack, Rat. Oh, and now you're going to miss and miss and miss, aren't you? Hit him, Rat. Wipe the sand out of your eyes. Oh, shit. Oh, damn bird. Wow. Okay, that's the end of your training. Amp will come out here and finish it for you. Ugh, now you're gonna miss too? Open your eyes, Amp. You talking about the original Dragon Ball movie where they, like, alter a lot of the characters in order to make the movie happen? Ugh. So much for his training. He's done. Bring Metapod out here. I was really hoping he could take out that 7 by himself. It would have taken a good piece of the time off of what we're doing here. Dude. There we go. Monotonous. I almost wonder if we just cut our losses. I know I'm being impatient, but all I really got to do is get Mankey to 9, and then we can hit that gym. When Mankey hits 9, he'll get low kick, and he can wreck through that gym by himself if he has to. Oh. Okay, let's move Mankey back up to the top. Work on him for a minute. What's going on, man? Open that up a little bit. Get some air in here. Mankey hits level 9. He's going to be the guy that pretty much wrecks that gym. Because that should give him low kick, if I'm not mistaken. I can have eggs and I can have bacon. Those are 2 things that I'm still allowed. In fact, they often talk about how much I need eggs, because I have to be protein heavy on every single meal that I eat. And they often count eggs amongst that. They say like hard-boiled eggs and whatnot are good for my breakfast, and I can prepare them ahead of time. And pig in a poke. What the crap is that? Low kick. There it is. That's literally the way that we wrecked that gym. We just kicked the crap out of every boulder and shrew in the place. Some guys are just easier to get leveled. They fight and take care of themselves better. Like bugs don't. They just don't. Like, we gotta really babysit the bug and give it time to work into something. Some of those guys you have to babysit are definitely worth it, though. They become something way useful in the future. Brute. Rat. Kick it. Don't miss. Mankey. Use your monkey feet. How's the truck? Am I unaware of something? I got rid of my normal truck. I had to buy something new because that truck was, yeah. Unless you're talking about this. Though it was funny, I told that story in one of the videos when I sold that truck, and I guess the truck really was on its last day because the dude shut the back. After I bought it, after I signed all the paperwork and everything, he was like, okay, well, let's go get your stuff out of the truck and get you into your new car. And I was like, yeah. And we go out there and we're getting all the stuff, and he has the door open, and he shuts the door and the windows fall off. No, not recently. No, my car is I got a pretty good deal. I bought off of a lot. Really only the first time I've ever bought something as new. Like, I've never really bought anything new like this before. But I went ahead and I bought into it because of some of the stuff that it come with. So like I have a bumper-to-bumper warranty that's like crazy. It's like literally crazy. It's 9 years or 150,000 miles. And when I got it, the thing only had like 40,000 miles on it. And it was a 2018. So that's pretty solid. It has like a fuel efficiency, which is the real reason I bought it over everything else, is I had to have a fuel efficiency because, like, now that I've moved my mom up here and I'm taking my grandma and mom shopping or whenever they have to go to the hospital or everything else, I'm burning through gas like crazy. Because I go get Gwen, I go get my mom, I go get my grandma, I go to Target, I buy this stuff. I mean, it's like I'm doing more running than I've ever done. And all of a sudden I realized that the truck I had, like, my truck got stupid gas mileage. Like, absolutely stupid. Like, I got like 15 highway, and city I got anywhere from 10 or 12 if I was lucky. So I was literally filling up 2, sometimes 3 times a week, depending on how much running I had to do. And each time I was filling up, it was costing me like 40 something dollars. And so finally, I was like, I can't do it. Like if I'm gonna take care of them, I can't do this. So I got rid of the truck. And what I have now is a big deal better in terms of gas efficiency for sure. Uh because of where I am and everything like that, I try to focus on either Shell or Kroger's, but it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes I get screwed and I'm downtown and I have to take the first gas station I see. Oh, I love Tree of Might. I thought Tree of Might was awesome. Though I did have a slight argument with Scott about the Dragon Ball movies. I kept telling him, I was like for somebody that claims that you can have it both ways, I was like, explain to me the canon that takes place in the movies and how it's possible that the movies actually happen. And he was like, because it's in between all the series. And I was like, no, it's not. That's not possible. Just look at Tree of Might. Goku knows the Kaioken times 10, and all of his friends are alive. And he hasn't fought Frieza yet. So when the hell did that movie happen? Oh, worst Dragon Ball movie. It might be the Dragon Ball movie where they took and rewrote everybody's character and they had the tournament where Chaozu is an emperor of this foreign nation and they go there to have this big tournament and like Tao Pai Pai is like a guard. He guards Chaozu and he's looking to assassinate Chaozu or something like that so that he can get power. It's awful. I can't remember what the name of it is. I have the movie downstairs. But it's a Dragon Ball movie. Ugh. Yeah, I've heard the Frieza song. I know what it is. We're just about there. Ugh, level grinding. I actually hear that all too often, which is exactly why they're. See, a lot of people get mad, and I've had it. I've had people that get mad at me and tell me I'm wrong. Um, Team 4-Star was not fair use. It was not fair use, and it was not necessarily a full-on parody. And part of how you get into fair use is that your property cannot circumvent or replace the original, and oftentimes that was actually happening. Case in point, you watched most all of the movies and whatnot through Team 4-Star instead of watching it through Funimation. So it replaced the original property. That means it no longer falls into fair use. And no, that wasn't a movie to show how Trunks got his sword. We already know how Trunks got his sword. Trunks got his sword from his mother. His mother made it. He specifically says, "My mom made this." Because that's not even the Trunks that will grow into future Trunks. It's not. It's a completely different Trunks by that time because Vegeta is alive. And that changes the entire storyline. It changes the entire perception of how that kid grows up and how future Trunks becomes future Trunks. Remember, because of the continuity that we were given at that time, when that kid grows up, he becomes Banana Republic wearing frickin' Trunks from GT. That's what he grows up like if he has daddy. He's a very different person. It's not the same kid. And we're even seeing it right now, like in Dragon Ball Super. That kid is not the same kid that will end up growing into future Trunks. He's not. Future Trunks was from an alternate reality where all the Z fighters had died and there was only Gohan and there was only Gohan and Trunks, and maybe Roshi was still alive somewhere, but it's not that he could do anything. So that kid grew up with only his mother as an influence, and that shaped his personality. And that personality is very different if his dad is still alive, which we're seeing in Dragon Ball Super. What? That's a real thing? I didn't know that. Ugh. Frickin' rat survived more than one fight. Man, you never saw the original Slug? You saw it through Team 4-Star? That's legitimately a shame. Slug is a pretty damn good movie. Pick anybody that in fiction that I would befriend that it was reasonable that I could befriend them. And why? Most of all the characters that exist in Genshiken. Why? Because they're regular dudes that are into anime and video games and comic books and things like that. And very much, if you read Genshiken, there's a strange amount of Genshiken that seems to mirror my actual life and group. Like I could pick out certain moments in each one of those characters that feels like the friends I grew up with and the hangout that we had. Because when I was young, and I was living at my dad's, of course, I was a kid, I had the attic, and the attic was kind of built like the Genshiken. It had all these toys and models and comic books and like video games and movies, and it just stacked all over the place, and nothing was necessarily put together. It was just kind of there. And like later on, when I moved there as an adult after my mom died, and I figured out I wasn't going to be marrying the girl I was with, I moved back to my dad's, because when my stepmother died, he was alone, and I was having my own problems. So I went there to spend time with my dad. I spent about a year and a half, maybe 2 years there while I was gaining stuff so that I could go get my own place and move to a Pekin apartment and whatnot. But during that time, we filmed in that same attic that used to be my Genshiken room, and I put it together as a stage, and it worked quite well, actually. It's probably the best area that we ever filmed in the whole history of the time that we've been doing this. That attic was probably the best filming space we ever had, literally. And I would love to recreate that, but so far the group has literally done absolutely nothing to work on the garage. Which is very normal for the group, by the way. Like the fandom nights, that's a thing. We're like, we're going to do this thing, and then we figure out it's work, and then either one person does it by themselves or it just doesn't get done. So I've cleaned out half the garage by myself, and I'll probably do the rest by myself as well. It's just the way that it is. But when it's done, and we start building it into a stage, it's gonna be pretty cool. And it's going to allow us to bring back some of the old shows. It's going to change the way the Sentai Review is filmed, because we can actually have a face cam in the room recording everybody while we do the show, which is going to be cool, because there's a lot of times that jokes are happening like between the group that you can't see, because you can't see the group. You can only see what we're looking at. So you miss out on part of it. Like I've been re-listening to a lot of the old episodes and kind of figuring out how we can remaster them to work for a new format back in filming again. The apartment actually wasn't a bad filming area. You're right, Seth. You might be right. That might be the second best filming area that we ever had. Because that couch and everything, and the way that the apartment was kind of a hallway anyway, we kind of kept the same format. So we just kind of moved from the attic and we moved into there. And yeah, the sound quality suffered, because the attic, the ceiling was made from that material that helped to really trap the sound. It was a big help. But then when we went to the apartment, we had the way better chairs and everything like that. Well, I'm not oblivious to the fact that you've brought it up a couple of times, Seth. But that's exactly what I've been talking about, is trying to get the entire group together to do a thing. Ever since we mentioned the attic, and we're just going to call it out. We're going to call it like it is. We mentioned the attic. Shane got excited, but never once never once decided, sorry, the garage, never once decided that we were going to actually do anything. And every single time that we've got together that we have Nick will say something to the extent of, well, I only have time to really hang out. If we're going to be working on the garage, I'm probably going to go home to go to sleep. Because he's been getting forced. Okay? And then after that, we have Scott, who I think hates the idea of the garage. And I'm not 100% sure why, but he seems to, because ever since we brought it up, not that this isn't a normal thing anyway, but ever since we brought it up, he kind of does the show and, like, leaves immediately. And, like, almost faster than he normally does. He hasn't even gone down to look at the possibility of what we're talking about. Like, why rebuilding the garage into a filming studio would be a good idea. He hasn't even so much as stepped foot in there to look at it. He doesn't want to film there. I think that he wants to build a stage over at his house, or he wants to just utilize the living room. But we can't utilize my living room. That's not practical where we are today with the way things are working. So I'm not 100% sure what the idea is there. But because of that, because of said situation, I've just kind of been working on it in my own time when I have the free time. I've got about half of it cleared out. And I got a fire pit that I've built in the backyard so that I can get rid of some of the boxes and all the clutter and shit like that we've developed. So I'm making progress. And then I also looked into some material that might help so that we can build a type of wall around the area that we're going to be filming. I found these type of boards, and they have a type of styrofoam. It's like a black board, and then they have a styrofoam in the middle and then another black board on the back. And if we pin those to the wall properly, they'll act as decent sound catchers, while at the same time they'll frame the area that we decide to film in, and they'll work as decent deterrents for the light, because the light is going to be fairly harsh. At least in the initial stages, it'll be fairly harsh. But I think I will cardboard that back wall. I found these, like, I think they're old refrigerator boxes, but it's a ridiculously long thing of cardboard. It'll work really well. We're going to pin that up in the back to act as a sound catcher, and we're going to put those things I found, those mats, on top of that. So I've been making progress. I've been looking at it. The hardest part, literally the hardest part to doing that, is going to be figuring out not how to put things together, but like once we get the area cleared out and we get it cleaned up properly, we've got to figure out what we're putting there. Like, we need to buy like a couch and a chair. We need to buy a screen, like a decent sized screen that'll work for the show, because now we'll be sitting back again. We won't be sitting close to a monitor, so it can't be a smaller monitor. We'll need a bigger monitor that we can pull away from and check out. and I'll probably pull down those two plastic shelves that I put up. There's these plastic shelves that hold all my boxing gloves and everything like that. I'll probably move those to the back corner where all my boxing stuff is going to go anyway. We're going to move one of the shelves inside and move every other shelf back as well. So that'll allow us storage space to be able to put cords and things like that that we need, and lights and things at any given time. We'll have that stuff on the ready, literally right behind us, right behind the couch that we'll be sitting on when we film. So like I've got a decent floor plan set out, and as it starts working, it's really going to be worth it. I really think it'll be cool once everything starts to finally set into place. It's definitely going to be worth it. It's just a time thing. It's getting people over to actually work on it, like on a weekend when we're not filming or something like that, or when we're not doing something. Like, once again, this weekend, all the theaters open back up, and Michelle, she's tired of sitting around the house. She wants to go watch a movie. Well, that means that basically going to film and then run out to watch that new Godzilla movie. And I don't mind doing that, but it means that by the time that all of that is done and I get back home, it's going to be like 4 or 5 o'clock at night. And then I don't know how much I'm actually going to get done. And of course, every time I try to do a project like this, there's real life shit. Like now, for some reason, the grill will not seal to the propane tank anymore, so I've got to figure out what's going on there. I've got to figure out if I need to replace the O-ring, or if it's the regulator, or if it's the propane tank. And that's money. That's money right there to test all three of those things. I replaced the propane tank for about $25. That's fine, but then if that turns out not to be the problem, then I have to start looking into the alternatives. And if it's the regulator, that's a big pain in the ass because I have to replace that entire line. It's always like that. It doesn't matter how many things you fix, there's always something broken that needs attention. Drive-in? Where's that at? That sounds frackin' cool. I didn't even know we had a drive-in around here. Oh, come on, Metapod. Still need 111. Yeah, that would be neat just to get everybody together, head down to a drive-in. It's been years since I hit a drive-in. Gibson, huh? Huh. Any idea what kind of drive that is? Couldn't be that bad. Even if it's like an hour out of the way, it wouldn't be that bad just for the experience. 45 minutes from your place. So it's about like an hour and a half or something like that if I was to take the drive from here, roughly estimating. You know, I might literally tolerate that. Just put on one of the old episodes, that because I've been reviewing them all podcast anyway. Just kind of listen and drive down there, maybe rock out to some old music or something like that. Yeah, that'd be cool. I haven't been to a drive-in forever. Come on. Level 10. Well, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure why I'm wasting all this time. Did they already fix it? Did they already fix the issue? Cause when he evolves, I don't think he's gonna get confusion. I don't remember if they fixed that by Gen 2 or what, but it used to be that in Gen 1, you basically became a Butterfree and immediately got confusion, and it was a decent, powerful psychic move right off the bat that allowed you to deal with a lot of versatile things that you would come in contact with, and I don't seem to think that he's going to get that. I seem to remember them fixing that pretty quick. Because nowadays, if you catch one and you evolve it, it don't learn confusion. Okay, fight the Tatarata. Yeah. Critical Metapod headbutt. Dude, it was. Hyperfang was sick. Was outrageously powerful back then. Okay, where's that? There we go. Yep. Awesome. Okay. There. Everybody is 10 or higher. We are ready, finally. Take mine, Pikachu, woman. And thank you. Yes, they do. That's nice. Yawn. Oh, this dude over here like a secret agent. Okay. Let's check out Brock's town a little bit. Yeah, that's a true statement. Get Pikachu. This dude's over here still is... You still doing pesticides? No. Yeah. Repel. Kind of like spraying pesticides. Keep the bugs off your stuff. He bought the $500 Magikarp. I used to, too. Every time, though. I used to name him Fear. Oh, crap. Our money is a joke. What are we looking at here in terms of our stuff? Pokeballs. 3 Pokeballs. There. We'll go up to 5. That way, if we come across something that we truly care about for a while, we'll deal with it. That's the kid that tells us to go check out the museum. Okay. We have $300. Can we even look at the museum? $50? I guess take our money. We're going to go look at the museum. Okay, that's cool. Yes! We have a space exhibit now. What's so special about it is it gives me my king, is what it does. That would have been cool if you could have come in here and looked at the Moonstone, and because you had your Pokemon with you, it would have evolved something that you had. Like if that was possible, if you were carrying Clefairy or something. Is it? Oh, I mean, I guess it's fine with me. Okay, there was the big, awesome museum. That was 50 of our dollars. Neat. Okay. Let's go kick Brock right in his face. Mankey time. Light years from facing Brock. Okay. We'll see. What kind of levels are you guys sporting in here? 9s. Okay, so going to 10 with everybody, that was about the right move then. Kick. Sure, we'll kick him too. Oh, missed. Control your monkey feet, Mankey. Mankey! Kick him! Kick him! Thank you. That didn't work for shit. Because he's ground, is why. Bug. Come out here, bug. Come on. Now, we could just use a potion, but we're going to go ahead and just walk back to the Poke Center. Specifically because I'm not going to start wasting materials when we have to do that cave and everything. Alright. Now with Brock, the kicks should go right through him because he'll have a Geodude and he'll have an Onyx, and both those guys are going to get absolutely smashed by low kick, especially Onyx. And if we had double kick, it would actually be even better because low kick does damage according to the amount of weight that something weighs. Okay. Dude. Kick the dude. No more dude. Kicked like a soccer ball across the arena. Yeah, bring Onyx out here. I'm gonna kick that too. Kick! If I remember right, they fixed the bind problem. You can't get binded to death in an infinite loop now. I'm almost positive they fixed it just by yellow. Oh, bide. That just sealed your fate. There we go. Okay, we're done here. Which is what I was saying about going down there and doing all the training. I did it, but really we were almost wasting our time because I knew that Mankey at level 9 could just come up here and do this by himself. Okay, I know. It's bide. That's amazing. I forgot to check him after the fight. I can't remember if he does certain things after, like right after a fight or right after an event. Oh yeah, I guess we should, just for the sake of heal up Mankey and then be on our way down the road. Because there's nothing else here for us. Checked every house. I can't remember exactly where you start coming across the, like the starters. I know like they're in different houses and whatnot where you walk up and the guy will say like, oh, I got this Charmander or something. And then he'll say something along the lines of, I would only give him to a skilled trainer. And then I can't remember if they read the Pokédex to see how many people you've caught, or if it just deals with how many badges you have or what level you're at. I can't remember. But I know there's a criteria to getting it. Like in the newest one, it deals with how many Pokemon you caught. So if you go up the hill at the end of Nugget Road and you see the Charmander that's standing there, like in the Let's Go Pikachu, that person will say something to the effects of, I definitely wouldn't part with this unless the trainer had already caught like 30-something kinds of Pokemon or something. So that's the other reason we're treating this one differently than we did last time. We're actually going out of our way to catch a couple things this time. In the red and blue version, we just rushed through. We knew what we wanted, and we weren't worried about it. Boom. Pidgey. Well, then Amp stays out. There we go. Ugh. Man, just one sand attack is irritating in the early game. Nope, nothing down here. Okay. This kid. Really? So you're supposed to be the same bug catcher from Viridian Forest? Pidgey, who has no flying moves. Once again, something that the anime tries to teach you. I remember that. Kids at school would be like, oh yeah, well I figured out how to deal with so-and-so because I watched the anime. And then later on as an adult and understanding Pokemon a lot better, I watched the anime and was like, nuh-uh. Pidgey isn't strong versus Caterpie. That's bullshit. Pidgey has no flying moves. Not this early in the game, so that's ridiculous. And then, of course, the fact that Pikachu took out the Brock gym with an electric shock, I was like, no, that's also a load of bullshit. Now, if Weedle is poison, we do technically have a bug killer on our team. And I'm pretty sure he is, actually. Yep. Sure, Tatarata. You could have already had a Butterfree. Like, why do you have a level 10 Caterpie? Like, what is it you're training towards? What special move do you think you're going to get by keeping it a Caterpie? Oh, and that's why we're going to fight. We're going to fight because you like shorts. Damn. Truly, this here is a battle fought for all the right reasons. Shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear. There, I kicked that top tier Rattata. Ekans. That's our Butterfree. Oh, that sprite is immensely better. So much better. That kid over there looks like he's probably using normals as well. No, he's a bug catcher. And it's a Weedle. It's really hard to judge the early sprites. It really is. Sometimes you could just look at the area and you know what you're dealing with. Butterfree and Mankey are pretty much going to be the stars of the training field once we get inside the cave. And Pikachu's pretty much going to be the one walking us around. Because Butterfree is strong versus poison. And boy, does Team Rocket like poison. And then Mankey's got that low kick power, which is going to be really helpful against all the things like the Rattatas and whatnot. In fact, we're not too far away from having double kick. There we go. Metapod. You know what? We'll just stay out. Okay, and now it's time for Chicken Peck Tackles. Oh shit, critical. One level and we should have double kick. I'm not wearing shorts. Yep. If ever there was a reason to have a Pokemon fight, you just nailed it. He does have flying moves, so Mankey needs to GTFO. See? Peck, an actual flying move. Pidgey does not have flying moves. Gust is normal. I remember when I was a kid, I was so confused because I was like, Gust is flying. Because it just felt like it should be, but it's not. It's a normal attack. It makes no sense to me, and I don't think they fixed it even today. I think even today, Gust is still a normal type move. Like, so now Charizard can finally fly, but Gust is still just a normal wind attack for whatever reason. No, Bill doesn't wear short shorts. That's why we just had a fight. Let's see here. Just for the sake of getting that double kick, we're going to put him towards the front and have him take a couple trainers. Because that double kick is going to be essential for powering through all the rockets in the cave. And to be fair, it'll also help us against things like all the Geodudes and crap like that that the hikers have. And we'll use the Butterfree to counteract also the hikers, because the hikers will have those freaking crit-hitting Machops. Mankey time. Kick him. There you go. Kick. Bunt him across the field. Nidoran. Now we're switching to Butterfree, because that's our confusion. Oh. I can fight your new Pokemon. Okay. Alright, that makes sense. It's a bug catcher, again. What could you possibly have that's so new? Why do you have a level 11 Caterpie? What is going on? Like, you know, they act like, I don't know, maybe Red was a prodigy. Maybe he was really a really special Pokemon trainer because he was, I don't know, he at least received the most mild form of education, like let them evolve. Metapod. Watch this be like a level 11 or something like that. Something ridiculous. 11. 11. Why? Why? What is the point of keeping it a Metapod? You could have a Butterfree right now. Are you like trying to get... Are you thinking you get defense stats that'll help Butterfree? Like, where's... I'm not supposed to analyze the thinking of an NPC. I'm not. But, like, what is going on? What is going on in his head? And he must have caught this Metapod because all it has is Harden. Which means he caught one, probably at level 8 or 9, and has been using it consistently in battle all the way up till 11, and it has not evolved. Which means he has to stop its evolution. He has to purposely cancel it. It's like, I'm about to become a Butterfree, and the kid's like, no! I love my Metapod! You're fracking dumb. Let's check out this area. Oh, shit. Sand a shrew. Yes, tackle it. Yes! Get it. He's just going to be switched out anyway, so yeah, we'll walk by her. No. No, I didn't touch you. Jiggly! It looks like a ball. Kick it! Yes! Whoop. So he came the opposite way through the tunnel, huh? Oh shit, there's a sparrow. Actual flight moves. Pikachu! Butthole. Catch it. A few episodes is not quick. They're like 45 minutes an episode, man. You must have... I mean, right now I have free time, okay? But this is actually rare that I have this kind of free time. I get relatively maybe 3 hours a day if I'm really lucky in terms of my free time. I think it's the real reason I don't keep up with shows, because I can watch 2 episodes of something CW, or I can, like, do something. And if I choose to read some comics, or, like, play a game or something like that, that's it. I've made my choice. Okay, we're going to get rid of Pidgey, because we need a flying move while we're making our way through getting the stuff that we need till we get the team that we actually are building. We need a flying move. And Pidgey, you don't have one. Box time. Sparrow time. Have a flying move. It'll help us deal with fighting guys and bugs and things of that nature. Now... So far, we're keeping Mankey. Rattata's the next one on the chopping block, and if Rattata got cut, he would be cut for Sandshrew. But as it stands right now, I mean, maybe we should, because we're going to need something to deal with Surge. That makes sense? Is that right? You think that's right? That might be... Rattata may have that mean bite, but we have to kind of plan ahead, because we're not going to have... We're only going to have what we have. So I think this is the way to go. And then that guy sells the fish, and we're not worried about the fish this time around. Especially not for $500. We'll get a fishing pole for free, and we'll just go get one. If nothing else, just to fill out that part of the Pokédex. We're not. I don't think we're gonna train the Gyarados this run, because we already know what we're moving towards. Now, whoop, let's go down to those 2 grass areas and walk around for a little bit. We'll see if we're missing anything that we could have got. And they need to get to at least level 10 anyway. Alright. Nope, that's a sparrow. Which I'm pretty sure is bad news for Sandshrew, because Sandshrew is ground. And I think... Does flying hurt ground in this one? It hurts fighting. It hurts fighting and it hurts bug. I can't remember about ground. I don't think so. I know rock takes out flying. I know that's a thing. Ice as well. 5 episodes behind. That's 5 hours. That's, for me, that's 2 days. That's 2 days of watching. Like, so you may not feel like you're very behind, but like when I'm a season behind, 24 something hours, 30 something hours, like, I feel defeated. That's the reason I've cut off most of my TV watching. Even when it comes to streaming, I tend to focus on a lot of like the stuff that I can finish, like the 20-minute episodes that I can knock out 3 or 4 in a single sitting. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, I wanted to guarantee it, but yeah, I didn't think so either. Flying is for bugs and for fighting. Okay, I'm not seeing anything come up in here, so we're going to move to the other patch of grass as soon as we kill this guy off. Well, ground moves can't affect flying, but is that already in place here? It could be. And then because like normal moves, they can't affect ghosts. And most guys that are poison, they're resistant to being poisoned. And that was all, even in the first game, that was already set in stone. You haven't watched Black Lightning. See, and that would take me like a month or something to get through. It sounds ridiculous, but like there's another part that holds me back from watching shows. If I get into a show and my wife gets into the show, oh boy. Like that means I'm going to move through the show very slowly. It's not her fault, she has Crohn's. So like I said, we have about 3 hours maybe. And so she'll get home and she'll be like, let's watch this show. And I'm like, okay. So we knock out like 1 episode of a show. Then, right after that episode, we run into the issue where we've ate or something like that. And she'll be like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Okay. If she goes up to the bathroom, since you don't know, Crohn's is a disorder that messes with your digestive tract. So like, she could literally be up there for the next hour, literally hour. Like she could be stuck in the bathroom for an hour. And it could be for many different things. She could, like, she could be throwing up because she ate too much, or she ate one thing that she didn't know would affect her the way that it did, or she could literally be trying to go to the bathroom, or like there's a mass of problems that come with Crohn's disorder that basically keeps you from like going out and doing things and whatnot. It can change your plans literally on the flip of a dime. Like where we've wanted to go out, but then we ate, and it's the same crap that we ate for like 2-3 days and it didn't affect us, but now all of a sudden it made her sick. So like now you can't go out. And this kind of stuff happens when you have Crohn's. Well, like, so if I'm watching a show and she wants to watch that show, I may get through one episode in a 3-hour period because we may have to pause it and kind of wait and, you know, do what we have to do. So, like, when I fall behind in a series, or, like, if I want to watch a series, like, I just don't have the time that everybody else has. I don't. It's not realistic for me. Okay, we're going to move you to the front of the team because you're going to walk us through most of the bats and everything like that. I actually like that color, that they chose red and everything for the caves. That's decent. That's a good idea. It's a better looking Zubat. Oh, that was really stupid. I don't know why I just did that. For some reason, my mind told me that I had Quick Attack, but I don't have Quick Attack. No, yeah, I do. I moved it. TM12. What is it? Water gun. Okay. I guess that was that bat's potion. He didn't like me taking his crap. It almost seems like they fixed the encounter rate in yellow too. Like, remember when we got here in red, it was almost every other step. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, sorry, I took 2 steps. Oh, shit. It's Butterfree grass? Is that what just happened to us? I forgot all about that, if that's a thing. We're not carrying any antidote. Well, no, we are. I think we are carrying antidotes. Okay, we're going to go check that real quick. Pretty sure we did. I thought we bought like at least 2 of them. Antidotes, yeah, we do. We're carrying 2 of them. Good. I guess I could have just walked right out. We're right next to the Poke Center, but... Bug and flying. I didn't know Bug was weak to poison. In fact, I had legitimately no idea about that. Huh. Has that changed in recent years? Or, like, did I just not know about it? Like, that really slips my mind. I had no idea. Now, flying is not weak to poison. So it almost has to be the bug side that got hurt. Oh, there it is. Took 2 steps. Okay, good. Good to see that the cave is filling up. Goodbye. I should have changed Pikachu out before walking right in front of that person. I even knew, like, we needed the fighting person because this is going to be Jigglypuffs and shit like that. Yeah, Clefairy. Switch. This time we will do Nidoran because he's a 12. Kick. Oh, dude, it's Rocky 4. That's literally without question. That question almost doesn't even have to be asked. I love the Rocky movies. Like, I absolutely love Rocky movies. So that kind of question almost doesn't even have a place. Like, I've literally, since I was young enough to have a TV, my own room. I was probably 7 when I started doing this. For years now. Every single year on November, I watch every single Rocky movie. Literally every single one. And my wife does it with me. And now she's, as we've done it each year, she's started to see why I have the connection to the Rocky movies that I do. Like, I think they're absolutely brilliant. I watch all except for 5. So I watch part 1, and I do this one day at a time. Like, literally the first day of November, I literally go down, I watch Rocky 1, next day Rocky 2, then 3, then 4, then 6, then I watch the Creed movies. And then, as an extra added tribute to Creed, and rather to Rocky, as a tribute to Rocky, I also tend to watch Grudge Match at the end, because it feels like a different path in Rocky's life, even though it's not actually the same characters at all. And I've done this for so long now that, like, we'll say I know Rocky very well. I'm thinking the next time I watch it, because my wife has been asking me about it, if I'm actually going to do it. And I think she's right. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to watch each Rocky movie next time, this November when I watch them, and I'm going to score the fights myself and see what I think in terms of who actually would have won and things like that, like where I see those actual things falling into place. No, I don't want to watch My Dad Can Beat Your Dad, the movie. I liked Creed. I did. I think it's an absolute fitting end to the Rocky story. And yes, I said Rocky. I've heard these people get mad about Creed while they're saying, oh, it should have been more his movie and Rocky didn't have a place in it. Of course Rocky has a place in it. Of course he has a place in it. He has an important place in it. It makes sense. See, Rocky is not the story of a boxer. That's a misconception. It is not a boxing movie. Rocky is the story of a man living his life. He just happens to be a boxer, and it's about the ups and downs and the realistic nature of how life takes us by surprise. how it forces us, how it changes us, and how the unexpected and the craziness becomes a big thing. And one of the things that we face in each part of our life is getting a little older and then dealing with the fact that we've gotten a little older and life changes for us. That, in part, for Rocky, the last step is passing on. It's moving into the final steps, the last of his era, the end of his life. And in that, sometimes there is sickness, and there is loss, and there is dealing with the fact that your life is no longer what it used to be, and finding a way to make sense of what has changed. And in so, a ghost from the past happens to approach him. A friend that he very much blames himself for the death of. His son shows up on his doorstep. Not only does this incorporate just how much life can be tricky and the way it throws curveballs at us that we never saw coming, but he then also has to make certain decisions in his own personal life entering the twilight or end of his life. It is over. It is over. And it's very much on his door. He knows it. He has cancer. He's going to die. But then finding a reason to live, because once you lose that reason to live, there's a good possibility that you're going to die. But Rocky finds in this surprise of life that he never saw appearing on his doorstep another reason to live, a son that he had lost, and a new perception on his life as to the way that he was living it. And it gives him the strength to reevaluate his life, continue living, and go back to his family, his son. And the final part of Rocky, the last movie, the Creed movie that will finally have no Rocky in it, is also very important. And the reason it's important is because Rocky is the story of a man's life. And here's the kicker. A man's life is not over when it's over. We leave impact. When we die, there are certain things that we leave behind, and there are certain effects that we've had on the world and the people around us, and they will continue on when we are gone. Because life is not infinite. Life ends. And in that the things that you have done will affect the people that you leave behind. So when Rocky leaves, we can assume that that character went off and lived the rest of his life and more than likely died. But he had a legitimate effect on Adonis Creed, and that effect will be seen in the aftermath as the final movie is without Rocky, the story of a man's life. I truly believe that. It's the way I've seen the movies for years. There's way more than boxing going on in those films. Each movie is a stepping stone in life. It's about the ups, the downs, the gaining, when you're on top of the world, when you're on the bottom of the world, the friends that you never thought you'd lose, and the friends that stuck around way longer than you ever assumed they would. Rocky is easily one of my favorite movie franchises that has ever been created. There's certain merit to 5. I don't tend to watch it very often on my run-throughs, but yes, I could dissect 5 in the same way, because 5 is about trying to reconnect to the things that you've lost. He very much sees something in himself that he has lost, that he has left behind. He can't be the person he once was, but then this hardhead shows up on his doorstep. This guy that has all the power and all the drive, but nobody to guide him. And Rocky sees a chance to live vicariously, or whatever, through him, right? He wants to be the guy that he used to be. He wants to live back in the ring. He wants to have that power. He wants to have that drive to win and to grow and to push himself and to be something. And he's lost all of this. Well, he takes it upon himself to train this guy, and he gets lost in the nostalgia of that moment and refuses to see life for what it is at the time that it's happening. Well, because of that, he runs into a problem where he denies what is currently happening with his family. He is on the down and out. His family is wounded. It is in trouble, and he's not paying attention to that aspect. And he nearly loses a friend because Paulie isn't exactly thrilled with how things are going right now. And at the same time, he almost loses his son, and him and his wife start having problems, and it's all for the sake of him falling back into this nostalgia. And he also refuses, he's so interested in living through that kid that he's not teaching that kid, he's just living through that kid. That's also a mistake on Rocky's part, because if you look at the situation that plays out, the kid, he thinks he's guiding the child, but he's not guiding Tommy Gunn. He's just living through Tommy Gunn. And by the time he realizes that this is real, that the only thing he's bestowing is training and skills, he's not teaching life lessons. He's not teaching how to be a better person or how to work with your life. Like Mick constantly tried to show Rocky that there were certain things that you could do and there were certain things you couldn't do, and that sometimes we have to accept the inevitable. He tried to pass on life lessons as well as skills. Rocky didn't do that. Rocky just passed on skills. It was all about move this way, punch this way, fight this way. This is good. You react this way. This is the way we fight. And he basically turned him into a shadow that he could use. And you see that in the fight that Tommy Gunn has. Tommy Gunn will have a fight, and Rocky will not be there. But if you're watching, Rocky watches the fight on TV and does the exact same movements that Tommy uses to win the fight in real time, because Tommy is a shadow. He was built that way, but he wasn't given the life experience that comes with that skill or with that drive, and because of it, he made very specific decisions that brought him into the nasty part of the business. And by the time Rocky figures out what's going on, he tries to instill his wisdom while Tommy's driving away, and it's too late for that. It's too late to instill your wisdom. You've already made the mistake. You've already made that kid what he's going to be. And he goes on to be the kid that he very much is going to be. And Rocky almost loses everything in that prospect. He doesn't just lose his money. That's just a stepping stone along the way of everything else that's happening. And that's essentially what's going on in Rocky V. Now, Rocky V is important to the lineage because he does learn from that. And he takes it as a personal failure on his own part and refuses to train Adonis Creed. And part of the reason he says that, I ain't no trainer, man. I ain't no trainer. Well, of course, he's not a teacher, at least in the way that he sees it, because he's not Mick. He didn't pass on those life lessons. He made very stupid decisions that hurt the life of Tommy Gunn. And he never truly recovered from that until Adonis shows up. And he's willing to give a couple of training advices and things like that, but he doesn't know about taking a kid like that under his wing, because look what happened last time. Well, by the time he finally makes that decision that he will help Adonis, he's kind of crawling out and realizing what it was that Mick did for him all those years ago, and he could do the same for Adonis if he just approaches it differently. And so all of these things play into the fifth movie and then enact on him in life lessons that enact through the first Creed movie. So yes, Rocky V can be immensely important to the lineage, even if it does have its flaws. So yes, I skip Rocky V every time, but I love the frickin' Rocky movies. technically that's my job texting. That's somebody I work with that's asking if I'm going to be there for the project tomorrow. So I'm telling them that yes, as far as I know, nothing is stopping me so far. I'm supposed to finally be back to work. Okay. Yeah, I like Rambo for what it's worth. My favorite is 1 and 4. Those are my favorite Rambos. What happened? What? Did you get the same crap that befell me? Did you have yourself a contact? Oh, just a vacation? Much better than what happened to me. Where's Sandshrew? There he is. You come out here in case he wants to get all shock happy. Oh boy, this is going to be a fight. Yeah, I didn't get a vacation. I had a close contact, which then put me out of work, and then I finished off that, and I thought, okay, well, that's fine. So I went back to work. And then when I went back to work, I coughed. See, one of my daughters had got a cold, which passed to another daughter, which passed to the mom, which passed to my kid that actually comes back and forth to this house, which then passed to Michelle, that then finally passed to me. And because of that, when I went into work, I was coughing. And they said, you now have signs of COVID, because you're still on a 4-day watch period. That puts you into a quarantine. It was 14 days. And I was like, oh, what? So all of a sudden I'm on a 14-day quarantine. And they said, as I walked out the door, they said this. They said it. They said it would be in your best interest to get tested. Now, I assumed that that meant that if I could prove that there was no problem, I could come back to work, right? That makes some kind of sense, doesn't it? Well, it didn't make sense to them, evidently, because I left and I went back home and I set myself up for a test and I went and I got tested. Then I called them and I said, hey, I got my test results and they're negative. And they said, that is great news. We're glad to hear that you're healthy. And I was like, wonderful. So I can come back to work tomorrow, right? And you know what they said? No! They said, fucking no! Because to piss me off, I guess, they said, it is company policy for you to finish your quarantine. And I was like, for what? And they said, well, because you were exposed to COVID and showed symptoms. And I said, yeah, but I'm fine. I have a piece of paper from my doctor right here in my hand that says, negative, Bill has no COVID. And they were like, yeah, but you still got to finish out your quarantine. So the earliest that you could come back to work after a screening, by the way, is on the 23rd. Oh, I got paid for 10 days. That's it. So no, I'm not even really getting paid. Oh, but they did me a favor because they're such good guys. they're taking my vacation day to fill in the spots where I'm not getting paid so that I can get paid. But that also means they forced me to take basically an entire week of vacation this week. Oh, and get this, my appointment for all the other shit that's going on for my heart and liver and whatnot, that is on the 26th. So I get to go back on the 23rd and request the 26th off. Ugh! I should have been allowed to come back when I proved that I wasn't sick. Pisses me off. There's no reason. Like, I'm quarantined for literally no reason right now. Like, no reason at all. And they know it. They very blatantly know that I am fine, that I am not sick, but I am quarantined because... reasons? They were like, hey man, you have to take a vacation. You have to. I'm sorry. You have to do it. So yeah, forced vacation is what I'm currently on. That's the reason I've been streaming like crazy. It's the reason I went through all of red, and now I'm starting in yellow, and I'm just kind of sitting here. Pretty soon I got to get something that I can snack on or eat because I got to take all these pills like some sort of old man. I have so many fucking pills right now. It's ridiculous. I'm taking something for my heart, and then I'm taking something for the diabetes that's also supposed to help my liver, and then I'm taking, alongside those two things, I'm taking this type of vitamin that I've been prescribed, and then a 24-hour allergy medication. Like, I have like 7 pills or something like that. We already went this way, didn't we? I purposely turned myself around to go fight that other trainer. But yeah, we've already been here. So we'll just go back around and down to the other thing. There she is. Go out here, we'll heal everybody up, and then we'll go around to the other ladder, and that hiker dude that's standing there. Couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. Like, I have the paperwork that says I'm not sick. Like, why? And I don't have any kind of popularity like other streamers do either. So like, yeah. So that's another thing too. Like, I'm not sitting here actually gaining followers. I did get 1 subscriber off doing this, and I'm not never complain about that. But yeah, I don't have like a following that where I could supplement my income or something. So that's not a thing. So I'm just gonna be down money, and I'm just gonna have to figure it out. Which really sucks, because I thought I was doing a good job. I'd been able to save around $600, and I thought I was going to be able to use that for my vacation, but nope! Fuck your vacation, Bill. Which now I'm curious how that's going to work, because my vacation is pre-approved, so they can't take... Even if they use the vacation days that they have pre-approved, I still have my June vacation off, so that I can go where I want to go. I'm curious how that's going to affect me, in all honesty now, because now I may not be getting paid for my actual vacation. Let's switch. Pikachu's up to 15, so let's actually switch to Nidoran, and then as we run into Geodudes and shit like that, we can get him to evolve. And then we can use the Moonstone on him, and we can get a King. And why would we get a King this early? Because he'll be just fine. he'll be able to work as kind of our tank, and we'll give him a couple of moves here and there through TMs, and he'll be just fine. Since we're not keeping him, we don't have to focus on him long term. We just kind of need him to be where we need him to be. I shocked that guy. He was surprised it did. Just double kick this rock to death. Looks like we're going to need 3 kicks. There we go. Another Geodude, then we'll stay out and we'll get what we can from him. Double kick. All right. About to use Onyx, and we'll stay out and we'll kick him in the face too. Face kicks! Bow! We're going to use a lot of Mankey downstairs, because we're about to get to that point where all the rats and everything are going to be showing up. I think he has to be level 16 for him to get to what we're aiming for currently. Oh, here it is. Here's the beginner's trap area where they put that Raticate. Right down there is the only guy that you could pretty much easily avoid. And they put him down there, and they know that you're going to be like, oh, there's a guy down there. Then you go down there and his Raticate just fucking sneezes all over your team. Yeah, that's him right there. That's Mr. Raticate Man. Oh, they changed him in yellow. Yeah, I'm in red. You go down there and you get to him and he's got this frickin' Raticate and it just stomps all over you. Pretty sure we just got Nidoran to where he needs to be. Damn. Come on. Do not beat yourself up. Damn. Get your wits about you, Amp. What are you doing, man? good. There we go. Yep. It's a solid Sprite right there. Awesome. Making faces over here. I don't know why. Just all of a sudden I started doing it. Zubat's one of them underrated Pokemon. That's for damn sure. If you can deal with Zubat, man, that Golbat was no joke in the early games. Then later on, they went from there and they added Crobat, and he's no joke. Let's catch him. You know, I may, it'll be about 12 o'clock. I may leave and go get like a taco salad. I do that a lot lately, by the way, because it's one of the few things I'm still like allowed to have. My eating habits are terrible. Like, well, okay, they're really good, and that's the reason they're terrible. Like, okay, people probably woke up and had like a breakfast today. I didn't. I woke up and I ate a Greek yogurt, and then I had a couple pieces of celery with peanut butter, and that was it. That's my normal eating habits, guys. That's it. And then, like, for lunch, I'll have, more than likely I'll go down here, because there's this Mexican restaurant that's really good, where I can have the taco salad. I'm just not allowed to eat the bowl. Then, after I eat that, I'll more than likely, tonight, I'll have spaghetti. But, I'm not allowed to have pasta, and I'm not allowed to have normal tomato sauce. So I have to have tomato sauce with absolutely no sugar. No sugar at all. And then, which by the way, it doesn't taste like your everyday tomato sauce. And then I have to cook hamburger. It has to be very lean hamburger, which I'm okay with that. I'm okay with very lean hamburger. So I'll use like 90 hamburger, like 90-10 on terms of the lean. So I'll cook that hamburger up. I'll mix that with the no sugar sauce, and then I will have these they're not pasta. They're masquerading as pasta. It's a type of like zucchini that is then diced super fine into noodles. That'll be my dinner tonight. And I won't have a very big plate either. That's another thing, is I watch my portions like crazy. And I'm set up with this doctor system right now. So like at the same time, what I'm telling you guys, every single time I eat, I have to take a picture of what I'm eating and I have to send it to my doctors. And then if they don't like what it is I'm eating, or if they think that I could do better, they send me responses almost in real time, sometimes as early as like 10 minutes after I post what I'm about to eat. And they'll be like, you shouldn't be having this, or try to do this, or, you know, like, I can only have one piece of low-carb bread a day. One piece. That's it. One piece. I can have like one open-faced sandwich a day if I'm not going overboard about it. Yeah. I eat good. I eat very good. And there's, in terms of what you would consider good eating, it's probably not good at all. It's probably not good at all. Yeah. But it's working. My workout schedule is working. I do feel better. That's legitimate. This isn't like, guys, fix your eating habits. No, do what you're gonna do. But no, realistically, I knew something was wrong. I couldn't figure out exactly what was wrong, but I was tired all the time, guys. Like, I always felt exhausted, and I always felt sick, and I had continual headaches all the time, and like my sides would hurt, and I would get this feeling underneath my ribs, like right here, like something was just pushing down on me all the time, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, turns out I was suffering from liver failure, and I was also suffering from type 2 diabetes, and those two things were acting on my heart in a way that was causing me to have, my blood pressure was fine, but my heart was not in a good place. We'll say it that way. I was not doing good. I legitimately was not doing good. It took a little while for the eating habits to start taking effect, but as I've taken a lot of the weight off, I am getting better, consistently better. So it's worth it. It has been worth it. It's just, it's a real pain to do what I am doing. We'll see if we can't throw off his attacks here since he lowered our defense so bad. We'll do 3 of these and see if that gives us the edge to... There. So far, he's already missing us with just 1, so we'll do 3 of them, then we'll lay down the scratches and see if we can hold this. Because it'd be real good for him to get this win. It's okay. Out of respect, I won't tell you what I ate. Yeah, I can't have pasta. I can't have bread. I can't have flour. I can't have there's so many things. It's hard to remember sometimes when I list them all. No pasta, no flour, no bread, no corn. I have to take it easy on a lot of fruits. Because, like, things like watermelon and whatnot, I can have, like, maybe three little square cuts, maybe this much of watermelon, and then I have to back off, or I'm going to be in trouble, because it's a natural sugar. My carbs have to be, on anything that I consume, it's a good idea for my carbs, like on the back, the serving size, needs to be under 10 grams, and you would be surprised how hard that is to do. And I have to have, like, I have a workout routine that literally has to be followed every single day. Like, literally every single day. Sure, because we're not going to use it anyway, so we'll just take whichever fossil we just grab. Okay, let's go see Jesse and James. And I have to report those too. I have to report my workout schedules. Like when I do them, I have to send a type of detail as to how long I did whatever and what I did. And then there's a type of health coach. I have like a health coach, a dietitian, and a doctor. I check in periodically with the doctor. I send whatever I'm eating to the dietitian every day, and then my health coach person is for all of the stuff that I do. And then I'm not wearing it right now, but you've noticed like in videos and whatnot recently, I've been wearing this thing on my wrist. That is a device that sends back information to my medical doctor so they can review my stuff in real time. So they know how long I've slept. They know how many steps I took in a day. Like, so like if I'm sitting here like on a Saturday and I'm just like do like all day long just playing this game, they can actually send me a message like, you took like all of like 122 steps today, like what's going on? You really need to actually move around and do stuff. Pizza, can't have it. Breadsticks, can't have it. Pepsi, can't have it. To be fair, it was Little Caesars, so you would have been grossed out. Little Caesars, it depends. If you could get there and it's actually made and it hasn't been sitting under the heat lamp for too long, it's good. It's fine pizza. But yes, most of the time I compare it to gas station pizza. Yes. Let's flip over to Butterfree and hope we don't die by flipping over. Because he should be able to hurt Ekans pretty good. I'm so glad they fixed this wrap crap. Wrap is now one of those possible 5 attacks or whatever. It's not like it can't just go on and on and on and on forever. Like in red and blue, oh, you can literally get stuck in wrap and get wrapped to death. Oh, that hurt. We didn't get poisoned, though. It's about to use Meowth. Now, we'll take this opportunity. We'll switch to Mankey. Oh, and because like I can't have things like I said, I can't have corn, so pretty much all chips are out of the question. Oh, I can't have potatoes. That was another thing. No potatoes. So since I can't have potatoes, pretty much all chips, all fries, most breakfast, a lot of skillets. There's so much off the table for me now. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to eat like me. In fact, another thing that's kind of funny, we used to joke, because the gaming guru and me go pretty far back, and we used to have this joke when we were kids. I used to say, can you imagine living an entire day, just like a week, just live a single week, only eating what the serving size recommends? That's my life now. I actually have to look at those serving sizes to know that I'm eating right. Because it'll say some stuff like, oh, you can have so many grams, and I have to keep the grams under 10. And if the grams are like at 10, or they're like at 11 or whatever, I actually have to look at the back because I have to watch the sugar and the grams and carbs. And then I have to say, okay, so the serving size says these are 16 pieces. At 16 pieces, that's 13. At 16 pieces, that's 11 grams. So I'll take 2 pieces off the serving size. Now I'm allowed to have it. So yeah, it's so ridiculous. We got a 3 fig Newton here. It's true. It's so true. But I actually can't have fig Newtons because they're bread. So there you go. Yep. Can't have fig Newtons. Nope. No, sir. Can't have cereal. Can't have oatmeal. Can't have any kind of partial grains. Even most things that say like wheat toast or something like that, I can't have that because it's not like a whole grain. It has to be whole grain whole wheat. It can't be any other variant of that. Well, you see, I gotta be careful with that too, because I can't just eat a bunch of meat and take up my my cholesterol either, because since it's the two issues acted on my heart, I can't take my cholesterol up and take a chance like that. So I have to watch that as well. So a lot of times I eat like vegetable stir fries and things like that, but I have to guarantee that I'm getting protein. So like I will sometimes eat like a handful of cashews and some stuff like that, or I have to be very specific about the meats that I eat because I can't overdo it, because right now technically, and this is something that they were actually surprised about, when they overlooked all my stuff on my numbers and whatnot, one of the very first things he said was he was like he says your cholesterol is great. He said, looking at all the other issues here, I kind of figured that you developed these problems by overeating or eating really badly, but whatever you're doing, he says, it seems to have kept your cholesterol very well in check. He says, at your age, at your weight, at your size, you're supposed to be at 40. He said, you're at 39. He said, that is actually really good for where you're supposed to be, and it's better than most people your age that I currently talk to. And I was like, yes, right. But because of that, I can't just switch up my diet so hastily that I eat nothing but hamburger and then pick my cholesterol up. So like I do eat eggs and things like that, but I also have to be cautious to not try to continually repeat things that I've ate. So I eat a lot of fish, fish and chicken, and I eat red meat maybe once or twice in an entire week. That's it. So like I'll have a taco salad tonight, and then I'll have that noodles. I'll have the noodles tonight, those zucchini cut noodles. And then after that, for the rest of the week, I will have fish and chicken and like shrimp kebabs. So like I eat like peppers and I eat very boring. Like I could literally start, and I'll bet you it would work just because people are weird like this, but I'll bet you if I started a YouTube channel and talked about my diet, I bet you it would probably pick up overnight and people would be like, oh shit, blah, blah, blah. Because it's weird, but that really does happen on YouTube, where people like have problems like I do, and then they'll form a channel around it. I'll bet you if I did that overnight, it would probably get attention, and people would be like, oh, this dude eats this way and he's lost all this weight. And I have. I'm down to 225, and that's a huge deal when you figure I was at just nearing, I was at like 269 or somewhere in there, because when I stood on the scale at work and I weighed myself and I first discovered that my weight had gotten way more out of control than I realized, I had all my stuff on and I came out at like 76, like 276. And now I'm all the way down to 225. So like I kick nearly a pound a day on this, relatively. It can be a little less, or sometimes it can be a little more. Like I can kick a pound and a half a day, but there's nothing fucking fabulous about the way I eat. Nothing exciting. It's very boring. Oh, and when it comes to chicken, that's another thing too, or fish for that matter. Since I can't have flours, I can't have breading, which means I can't have things that are fried. So all of my chicken is baked or broiled or grilled. So yeah, same with the fish. So like I make use of like the air fryer and whatnot quite often so that I can eat. Oh, and I can have things like I can have a sweet potato, because technically a sweet potato is not a potato. A sweet potato is a squash, but sweet potatoes are the highest thing in carbs that I have recently, so I also have to take it easy on them. Like I had a sweet potato for an Easter dinner like 4 days ago. Like, and because of that, I really can't mess around with sweet potato stuff probably for like another week or so. I make a lot of stir fries, do things like that. I found things like oh, by the way, cheeses and whatnot. I can't have American cheeses because they're fake. They're fake cheese. I also can't have milk in the same way that I used to. I have to have a type of non-dairy solution, which is a kind of fake milk. So that's fun. Like I'm still wearing the pants that I wore at my largest size. Like I'm wearing them right now, and no, actually, it's not like a lactose intolerant thing. Milk has a lot of sugar, like a lot more than people tend to realize. Like if you go to like you could do it right now. If you went to a Kroger's or whatever, and not like a gallon of milk, it's hard to understand because the serving sizes are you'd have to read the serving size and then you'd have to do a little bit of math, but you can easily prove it to yourself. Just go to a place like a gas station and pick up one of those milks, one of those 20-ounce bottles of milks, just like a soda, and look at the back of like a 2% milk. It'll be like 29 grams of sugar, like really high sugar, almost the same amount of sugar that you would get in like a literal soda. So like it's actually better for me, and this is ridiculous. It's technically better for me to drink a Diet Coke than drink a milk. It's that bad. Oh, she has the Bulbasaur. See, I can't get it yet, and she doesn't give me the criteria exactly as to why. I think it's once I beat Misty I can get that. I really like this. I gotta be honest here. Seeing the sand shrews and everything out here, seeing more, like that's really cool because like remember in the last game, every sprite was just kind of like a cliche looking thing. This is damn good effort here on their. And actually, it calls out something we were talking about yesterday where I get tired of all the trainers looking like red and thinking that it may have been a way to save space on the cartridge. Evidently, they can make different sprites. They just chose not to. Yes. My beverages are mostly water. Okay, each uh at like the end of the night, at the very end of the night, sometimes around like 8 o'clock at night, as I wind down, I will have one Literally one cup. This is my cup, by the way. This is the reason I have this cup is, I guess, because the cat gave it to me. But the reason I specifically use this cup is because it is measured exactly, and I know every time that I drink something that I drink what I drink. So like right now, I'm drinking a no sugar Gatorade because once again, I suffer from a problem. These three problems that are enacting on me currently have given me a very serious condition, which is called chronic dehydration. And chronic dehydration works on your body in a way that no matter how much you take in, no matter how much you try to stay hydrated, you can't do it. It's very hard for me to stay hydrated. If I just drink water, it does very little for me. And I'm talking, it does very little for me. That's real. So like, I'll drink something like that, like water, but then I have to fill in the gaps somewhere, and I can't go crazy on things like Gatorade either. So like, this is a 0 sugar Gatorade. It's filled up to this metal line right here. Once I drink all of it, I have to kick through an entire water before I can fill this up with something else. I have to watch caffeine. So if I have a tea, like an unsweet tea, by the way, it has to be an unsweet, untampered tea, that has a caffeine index of 2 on a scale of 5. So at a caffeine index of 2, I have to drink 2 things of this water before I move on to something else that may have caffeine in it. So at the end of the night, if I've drank like 3 or 4 of these of water, I will sometimes have a no sugar Coca-Cola, like one, and I'll only have one, and that's it. And even that, I don't overdo it. I don't try to have it every day or whatnot because not supposed to. I wonder if we went up and did Nugget Road, if we could get that Bulbasaur. I've tried a couple of things here and there, with different levels of success. Currently, what I'm having right now, if I don't want to know about any of these, guy. Currently, I have one of these, and then I have a water, and then I seem to be okay for a little while. But if I drink like one tea, it takes 2 or 3 waters, or sometimes 2 cups of this stuff to be okay. Yeah. Did they move it? Is it not here anymore? There it is. I was going to say, I know there's something back here. But yeah, I have looked into certain things. Some things work for me very well, and some things you would think would be really helpful, and they just don't cut it. Like, it's crazy the amount of other stuff. Oh shit. I wonder if we just screwed up. Are you about to kick my ass hard? What are you rocking? Oh, shit. Yeah. I might get wrecked. We have to play fairly smart here to have any kind of real chance. Okay, this takes care of his Sparrow. Sandshrew. Currently, we don't actually have anything that deals with a Sandshrew. But we could focus on something that cuts through his defense. So let's put out Butterfree, and we'll cut through his defense. We'll poison him for good measure, in case I have to try to outlast him. But I should be able to cut decent through his defense with special attack like Confusion. It's okay. It's doable. We can ride this out. Come on, land the hit. Oh, come on. You were sand attacked one time, Butterfree. Ouch. Shit. I didn't bother to buy new potions or anything. If I could have got that Bulbasaur. But I think that's after Misty. I should have just went straight to Misty. Should not have explored it. Damn RPG life. Okay, we got him. He's down. What's next? Tatarata. Tatarata we have a way around. Because we got Smanky. Smanky time, bitch. Kick it in its rat face. Take it. Yes, we will change. We'll change because he's going to bring that out, and we're going to just drop a Nidoking like a complete ridiculous... Oh, wow! Green shits his pants. What? Okay. Had to think about that fight, but yeah, we did just fine. Okay, bye, prick. I like how he's continually condescending and shitty to you, even though you're kicking his ass. Like, it is very blatantly, like, you can very easily see that every time that you two meet up, like, your guys are outmatching his, and yet somehow he manages to be, ooh, fucking... What are Misty's people at? Can we tear through her with the Pikachu we got right now? Because I could go up there and do a whole bunch of training. And that's Nugget Road and everything like that. But, like, if this gives us the Bulbasaur, I'd like to have the Bulbasaur so he doesn't miss out on that training. So far, I like the color ideas, too. That they made this town blue. That's Misty. That works. And when we were in Broxtown was very much like gray and everything. That works for me. Especially because you got to give it to the limitations they were working with at the time. You know what I mean? It would have been real cool to see like a DX version of this. Where they go back and they fix all the colors and they just... kind of like they did with the Link's Awakening DX. Like that was fantastic. It looked like it looked so good on the Game Boy Color. It was almost like you were playing it on a Super Nintendo. Like it looked, the colors were fantastic. I mean, they were still this color palette, but they were utilized like 16 different colors on the screen and everything. It was so well done. It's so beautiful. Shelter looks fine, but I'd say that since they colored him, isn't he supposed to be blue? Like, why is he like this brown color? Seems like we could do it. It would help if Pikachu was a little bit stronger, and I worry about the Starmie with that frickin' overpowered bubble beam, but I think that we can do it. I think that we can beat her. I don't know how the rest of the team is going to fare once Pikachu does go down, if it happens, but look, we'll deal with it as it happens. Really? You think it's just that? It's whether or not Pikachu loves us? Be happy, damn rat. Here, look, smash this Goldeen. That'll make you happy, right? Get a Bulbasaur? Happy to smash a Goldeen? See that? You dodged a Supersonic. I'd be pretty happy. Awesome. He's awfully happy. You sure that's it? You sure there's not a trigger moment? Like we have to do something storyline-wise before that girl will release that Bulbasaur? I don't even think I got hit, but whatever. And then there's weird things to my eating too, by the way. Like weird things. Like I can have salsa, and it's almost recommended that I like have salsa because it's got a lot of stuff in there that like is decent for me. But then, like, what am I gonna put? Like, what do I put it on? I can't have chips. So like I have like weird like salsa chicken, like, which believe it or not I've done, and it was fine, but like. Really? Like... Okay, Staryu. That really shouldn't matter. It's too late in the game for her to make use of that. Had she used it at the beginning, she maybe would have taken 4 of those hits. Oh, 21. That's ridiculous. We're going to try here to see if we can paralyze her. Then hopefully she at least misses an attack or so. A double team would raise my evasion, but I think we're just going to try to see if we can get decent hits. Because then even if she takes the Pikachu out, maybe I can get her with something else. Now we're just going to go for gold here. Nice. It's fine. Keep going, Chew. We're close here, Amp. Okay, we got hit once. Yes! Awesome. She'll also give us that bubble beam. Okay, who do we get rid of for Bulbasaur? I don't think we're going to run into too many more bugs. And poison can be handled by... Poison can easily be handled right now by Butterfree. So I would imagine that Sparrow is probably the one to get rid of. Mankey is currently handling things like normal and rocks. Nidoking will very much act like a tank when we need it. Sandshrew, we're supposed to be working on him to handle the gym that's inevitable. Does Sandshrew learn Dig naturally? Is he one of the guys that does that? Because I actually do not remember. Surprisingly, there's few people in red and blue that actually learn Dig. It's the reason that TM is so damn important. Give me the damn Bulbasaur! Okay, we'll go up and see Bill. Which means there's still a place for Sparrow because we couldn't get the Bulbasaur. I mean, we've been catching things, so it shouldn't be a Pokédex issue. And Pikachu has never gone down in a fight. And he's got potions and things like that, which raise the likability, so I don't know what's going on. Okay. Yeah, I was right. Bug first. We got to reach that point before we can get the Bulbasaur. Damn it, Pikachu. Be happy. Stupid Weedle. And I haven't bought an antidote yet, a new antidote, so that means we're going back to the Poke Center already. The next one is a girl, so we'll just assume that Mankey goes forward next. Are you happy? Ugh. You're costing me time with my Bulbasaur, Pikachu. You don't want to do that, man. Bulbasaur is one of my... He was my first Pokemon, okay? He's important. Easily in my top 10 Gen 1. Badoo! Well, I expected something different, honestly. Oh, it's about time I go find food. Boom. There we go. Yes. Ugh. Damn! What the shit? I turned my eyes to read and he almost died, and I'm guessing one frickin' hit. Oh, he hyper-fanged. Well, damn. Man, that rocked me. I could try. Okay. No more bat. Whoop. I have a jumping rat. Does that give me a Bulbasaur? Ugh. Listen here, game. Needs a Bulbasaur. Damn. Ugh, hearts above his stupid head. Dang it, Chew. Ugh. Mankey. Well, I know the system that's in place is like every time you use a potion, it takes his happiness up. Every time he like if he gets knocked out, his love or whatnot goes down. It's like an invisible counter thing, but it also depends on like how consistently his life is high or whatever, like. And then there's also something that deals with how many steps every time he gains a level, just a bunch of different stuff. Oh, come on. Now it feels like I'm stuck in that fucking glitch again. Dog shit. He was just gonna wrap me to death, and he was faster, so there was literally nothing I could do to prevent it. Okay, we got this one. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? That's the dude that gives you a Charmander, I think. There we go. Okay, we gotta drop somebody so that we can get that Charmander. Who's off the team? Someone's gotta go, people. Who's gotta go? Who's bye-bye? Okay. Sparrow's gone. Oh, he's level 10. Oh. They don't exactly do me a favor here, do they? But I need Sandshrew for the gym. Surge is next. I agree that Sandshrew hasn't exactly been a big help, but he learns Dig, doesn't he? And Raichu definitely won't be able to one-hit kill him. Oh, Bulbasaur. Are you telling me to teach Dig to Bulbasaur? I mean, if he can learn it, I guess it's not the worst idea. Did you? Might not be a terrible idea. It would give him the ability to fight off fire guys as well. But the fact that we're going to have Squirtle, like, Dig is tough. Dig is tough because we're only going to get it once. If we teach it to the wrong guy, we're in trouble for the entire game. And Nidoking is a monster. Like, he's so freaking broken. Honestly, Mankey might be the next one that makes the most sense. There's not very many fighting moves in all actuality, and King already has Double Kick, which is a fighting move, which means that King can handle the regular guys. Real question is it wise to have Charmander be the dig guy? Oh, nothing. Damn you. Frackin' rat. It's wasting my money. Ugh. Well, in terms of rocks, like I have double kick, which would definitely be handled by King. Whoa, pull back. And Butterfree handles these annoying things every single time. Critical hit, critical hit, critical hit. It's ridiculous. I think he's dead. Oh, he lived! Yes! See, our Nidoking will make pebbles out of these rocks. And he'll get a ridiculous amount of life and defense to go along with it. Damn, that almost ended Butterfree. Ugh. Right now, we don't have any TM that teaches a flying move. In fact, I don't think you get one for a very long time. Fighting moves are incredibly rare in the original gen. There's like 4 or 5 of them. And like one of them is actually useless because like Seismic Toss does damage according to your level. So even though it is technically flying, if you do Seismic Toss and you're level 17, you do 17 damage. That's all you get out of it. That's all it does. It's kind of like Dragon Rage. No matter how strong or weak you are, it only does 40 and it's capped. So even if you're strong versus something, that's all you can do is 40. Whirlwind just makes a guy run away. It like pushes him out and then brings in the next guy. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it does. It sounds really cool, but it doesn't really do much. See, I mean, he has 34. He's a 12. Nidoking is 17. That's not that. That's really, I mean, that's a good deal higher, but he's nearly double that life already. And now that, and he's only been Nidoking for one level. That's what I mean. His life and his defense will get pretty high. Nidoking is a monstrous thing to have early game. And with the way fighting helped us in the last game, I don't exactly think that I'm overly anxious to put my faith in a fighting type, other than the fact that we needed him for Brock. I'm thinking fighting types probably didn't really become something that we can invest in until Silver. Damn. I was going to step off and eat, but I wanted to get this damn Bulbasaur before I did it. Good. Did I get it? I got the Screaming Pikachu. Is that good enough? Or does it have to be Hearts Pikachu? Heal mine people, lady. Huh. Thank you. Finally, shit. Man, they kind of make this a bit of a pain to get. Butterfree we're going to hang on to because with it having that confusion, that's really good early in the game. And Sandshrew, technically, if he learns Dig, he's worth hanging on to. And I don't mean through the TM. If he's a natural Dig, he'll wreck that gym. And I don't know if he is. If he's not, then we'll end up replacing him for a Diglett that already knows Dig. But I think Mankey is the one that makes most sense, because fighting did us no favors in the last run-through. Like, literally no favors. He was pretty much the worst guy on the team. All right, damn. I have to go eat sad. Well, it might not be. I might make that trip over and eat that taco salad. Or I don't know. I could just eat more chicken. Because I'm having red meat tonight. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I know one thing. This one is done. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get out of here, guys.